Hi, and welcome to another episode of Badger Nerdworks Presents We Watched a Movie. I'm Brandon.
And I'm Colin.
And today we watched Tomb Raider. Woo! Not the original one with Angelina Jolie, the new one based on the remake of the series of video games.
Yes.
That's an important distinction to make because this is a vastly different movie than their first attempt at bringing these movies to the screen.
A better movie and alright movie.
Yeah. No,
it's
definitely a better movie. Man, a vastly less obnoxious Lara Croft. Far more believable. Less...
It's good to know that we can make a video game movie that's alright and not horrible.
Yeah. No, I think one of the problems with the video game movies is inherently in video games you have to be incredibly powerful in order to bring that exciting sense of adventure to the game. Now, this movie, I thought that they did a good job of making Laura dangerous and skilled and stuff without making her ridiculously overpowered.
Yeah, she gets injured in this and it's actually a big deal.
Yeah. She gets hurt bad when she gets hurt. And she gets defeated numerous times, and when she gets in a situation that'd be scary for a human being, she gets appropriately scared of it. Kind of early on in the movie, she's traveling in I want to say it was Thailand, but somewhere they're having somewhere in Southeast Asia, where most of this movie takes place. And some guys steal her backpack because she's a single white chick and
a tourist.
And a tourist, and she looks
broken, whatever language they're speaking.
So they jack her thing and run off with it, and she chases them down. It's chase scene to show how nimble she is and how brave she is and how she's going to tackle this guy. And she tackles the guy and gets the book bag back, and then he draws a knife and she's like, oh, damn.
Running.
Time to get out of here. Weapons. I'm going to get shanked and dumped in this river. But it was cool because she wasn't just I'll fight 3 guys with weapons. She's
she'll take down one guy, get her bag back, and kick him away after choosing not to break his arm.
Yeah, and this Laura, it starts off with her being pretty poor. It seems like her father had a great deal of wealth, but then the movie kind of starts with her training at a mixed martial arts studio and getting her butt handed to her.
She refuses to accept her inheritance because her dad disappeared when she was little, and if she does, it means that she says he's dead.
Right. She has to acknowledge
she should just
he's dead.
Accept it and use the money to find him.
Yeah, but she doesn't want to do that, so she's living in New York as a bike courier, trying to make her own way in the world, prove that she's independent or whatever.
Instead of just finding him with all the money.
Yeah. I mean, that's fine. But that having been said, this is a Lara Croft without infinite resources, which was kind of cool, because, in the previous movie, she just was I have a giant mansion, I have tons of guns, I have a robot training room, to practice swinging off of stuff. And this is oh no, I wipe out on a bike, it hurts. I'm oh. So that was cool. It gave a sense of...
She actually has to trade something to get her weapons.
Right. And it lent to the feeling of danger when we actually get to the island that most of the movie takes place on. She's looking for her dad, but her dad was looking for the corpse of a dead Japanese princess.
I think that's what it was?
Yeah. And whatever she touched died, and there's all these legends
about
it.
Are she's the goddess of death or something.
Yeah, and there's so she gets there, and it turns out that a bunch of evil guys are already there and have been kidnapping people and using them as slave labor to try and tear apart this island and find it for a long time.
They seem to just be blowing up random mountains.
Yeah, they're just digging wherever. They have no idea what's going on.
Blow up that one with dynamite.
Yeah, but she quickly gets taken by them hostage, and they're pretty flat out about, we killed your dad. So she's gotta get out of this.
Yeah.
She had hired a captain of a boat?
To
bring him there.
Boat or something.
Who was the son of the guy who brought her dad there, and both of their dads didn't return. So they're both oh, our dad's never returned from this.
And they're like, oh yeah, we killed
journey.
his captain friend too. We killed them both.
So it turns out they killed both their dads. So they work together to to help Laura escape, and like.
Then he stays behind and like rallies the other slaves. Bunch of slaves.
Well, that's not till later when she comes back with her bow and arrow.
Yeah, but he keeps the morale up.
Yeah, he keeps the morale up.
Don't worry.
We're just enslaved on an island.
Us.
It's impossible to get onto or off of. That probably has an evil cursed lady buried somewhere on it. Yeah, it's not a good situation. It's not a good situation. But that's what she deals with most of it. And most of the time, she has to run. Like, the enemy forces have machine guns. There's a lot of them. They're well encamped. She has no choice but to flee. Yeah. So there's a bunch of, like, fleeing scenes where she's running through the jungle. There's a pretty cool one where she winds up in a river, and there's a crashed World War II plane.
And she gets onto the airplane to not fall off a waterfall. Yeah. But it's all corroded, so the additional weight starts, like, breaking it.
Yeah, and she has to, like, crawl off of it. But it was a cool set piece.
Yeah.
I thought it looked real good. I thought it looked...
It felt
pretty real.
A lot like the start of Uncharted 2, where you're out and the train hanging off a cliff and have to climb out.
It did have that, and there's a lot of this.
It mirrored that pretty closely.
There's a lot of this movie that you're like,
that
someone
feels
like that
the Uncharted game.
Yeah. But I think that's probably true of the remake of the video game too. Like that, like Uncharted really demonstrated how you could tell an intense treasure hunting story and make it feel like very alive and keep the tension there and show how you can like work on an island.
And that takes from Indiana Jones, so at least it's a bit like Indiana Jones.
Yeah. And that's cool because it's like closer to Indiana Jones than it is The Matrix. Like,
yeah.
Like you're like, oh, this isn't like every bullet I fire finds its target. It's more like, please hit. I really got to like sneak around these Nazis. But then she does eventually meet up with her father. She finds her father, who's half insane because he's been living on the island alone. And like, I thought that was actually one of the better parts of the movie was her interactions with her father. And like,
he seems to be a bit delusional and kind of has been hallucinating visions of his daughter.
So it takes him a while.
Something like, she isn't real, she'll go away.
If you ignore her, she will go away.
You've done it before.
And at that point, she's pretty badly injured and really does need some help, like, to get...
And to his credit, he still helps her, even when he's like, you're not real, here's all my resources.
Yeah. And she, he's dedicated at this point. He's decided that if the bad guys find the evil queen, they're going to use her magical power to like, kill
take
things.
Over the world.
Yeah, to take over the world. They don't really explain that at all.
At that
what the
point,
motivation for the bad guys are.
I think the queen's like gives life, according to their legends.
No, everything she touches dies.
That's what they find out at the end.
No, at the end they find out that she was good and she buried herself.
Oh, right.
Because at first you think that her samurais
were
like...
But he was looking for her because he wanted to bring back his dead wife.
Well, he thought that she had, like, magical powers over the dead. Like, she could control the dead. Because, like, when they die from this disease, it's like a zombie disease.
Yeah.
So it's like, you touch her, she turns you into a zombie. Which plays into the final action sequence of dead people. Which is another way this movie is just like the first Uncharted game.
Yeah.
Because that's the plot to the first Uncharted game. The bad guys are looking for an ancient crypt that has an ancient ruler in it
and zombies.
Yeah, zombies. Yeah. When you open it up, it creates zombies with its gas that comes out. This one has to be done by touch, but it does have some cool stuff, like some of the crypt stuff when they finally do... Laura comes back with
cool crypt puzzles. I like that.
Yeah,
very Indiana Jones.
Laura does sneak back in, and she goes all like ape on him with the bow and arrow. She like sneaks in and kind of stealths her way in, and she stealth kills a couple guys.
There's a good short guerrilla fight like that.
Yeah. She scores a couple kills, but then as soon as someone gets a gun on her, she's like, way outgunned. Bow and arrow does not beat gun. That's not how that works. And her and her dad inevitably wind up having to lead the bad guys through the crypt. And it's very reminiscent in my mind. Like a lot of it is clearly ripped straight out of The Last Crusade.
Yeah.
Right? Like, the floors that fall out from underneath you. There's, like, these cryptic puzzles at each step where you have to figure out what the cryptic saying means and how that applies.
This meant there was a floor trap that'll kill you.
Yeah.
And this meant that there's a pit of death.
Yeah. And a lot of it, like, one of them, they just, like, overcome by using a ladder. They're like, oh, there's a big pit you can't cross. Ladder. Like, pff, all right.
We can make a bridge.
Even then, you would be like, that's something any ancient explorer could have built on a
ladder.
ladder.
What I find ridiculous is on their initial trip over there, where they don't have a time limit, they walk across the ladder. They don't get down and crawl over it safely. She walks across it ring by ring. I'm like, shouldn't you, like, crawl over to be safe?
I don't know. I'm scared of heights. I wouldn't going over that thing. I've been like, yeah, just go ahead and shoot me and dump me in the thing. I would have walked over that. But yeah, so they wind up beating all the puzzles, and a bunch of bad guys fall to their death. So, like, each one does get to kill, like, a few bad guys.
I love that during the falling floor puzzle, you get locked into the room and the floor starts falling out. One of the guys just books it out the door and gets to the other side before it starts.
Yeah, because you're always like, why wouldn't you dive through that closing door? And that guy's like, oh, I'm out of here. And he does, and he totally gets out.
And the door opens at the end, and he looks and goes, where's the floor?
Which is a pretty funny moment. But once again, this movie's not terrible. As much as it takes from a lot of things, and it steals from good things.
It steals
takes
from
good ideas.
And it doesn't break the good things or twist them horribly.
Right. And there's few enough characters. Like, this movie isn't, like, really loaded down with a bunch of erroneous people.
Laura, her aunt, her dad, evil guy, and fish captain.
Yeah, that's about it. And then there's some goons that just don't matter at all.
They're goons.
And I think the aunt is the head of the company that her dad ran and is trying to talk her into signing her dad's death away.
Her aunt is, like, running the company in her dad's stead.
Yeah. And, yeah, it's well crafted. Like, I mean, the movie looks real good. A lot of the shots are real entertaining. It has a good pace.
A good energy, and it doesn't use the shaky cam so you can't see everything. You can see everything pretty good.
Yeah, no, the lighting's real good. The lush jungle looks lush. I think I saw that they shot it in Hawaii, but it looks beautiful. Like, the scenery is fantastic. The jungle's real nice. And at no point was it like, oh, this movie's boring the heck out of me, which is what I was terrified of going into this, is that this movie was going to become a drudge. Like, oh, I've seen this before. Oh, I know where it's going. Not that it really...
glossed over the intro sequence, like the introductory part, but that part was actually quite long.
I guess that was kind of long, but...
I was like, when are you going to get to the island? But it was still pretty entertaining.
And I think it...
wasn't boring.
Yeah. She, like... Yeah, you're talking about the bike race that she has at the beginning.
Yeah.
Where the bike couriers have this bike race they call the Fox Hunt, where they take a can of paint and they strap it to the back of your bike and they stab it, and then it drips like a trail, and you have a little foxtail hanging off the back of your thing. Everyone pools their money, and if the fox manages to stay away from everyone else and keep its tail until the paint can is empty, they win the pool. Anyone else whoever gets the fox tail, if they manage to catch the fox, like, gets the money. So they're having this illegal straight race, and it shows, like, Laura fleeing. But I think that's to show that, like,
she's capable and good at hiding.
Well, I mean, and it shows, like, her intelligence. Like, she has, like, a kind of intelligence. Like, she's driving, and they're clearly able to follow her. So, like, she quickly, like, jumps up and puts her bike on the back of a truck and, like, hides for a minute to, like, make the trail go away for a while.
Yeah, and they come out of the alley and go, wait, where'd she go? And you can see a few people ride past her.
And she has to, like, dive through some, like, traffic and jump over things. So it shows that she's athletic and mobile and cunning and able to think in a clinch.
Like a fox.
Yeah, she's clever like a fox. Yeah. Heavy-handed. But nonetheless, it was
she would have won if she wasn't hit by a police car.
Yeah, of course. And then, but I mean, she gets messed up in that, and, like, it shows that she does have
take damage
flaws,
and has human endurance.
Yeah. human levels.
No
of endurance.
superhumans in this one, besides for the dead queen that makes people zombies.
Right. Which turns out to be a good guy, even though they're dead. Doesn't matter.
Just immune to the zombie disease that they carry.
Sure.
And perpetually carry into death.
Yeah, because she's like a carrier for the zombie disease. But the important thing is...
Whatever.
Yeah.
Point is...
Whatever.
Don't touch the zombie people or else you become zombie people.
Right.
Just
which leads to like a kind of anticlimactic final fight scene. But I mean, it's all right.
It's amusing.
Yeah, and
it's more funny than
yeah, it's
dramatic.
like Laura trying to like flee from a zombie, but like, you know, she doesn't have any weapons because she's been disarmed, so she has to use like the traps that are set up inside of the castle or the crypt.
And zombies are dumb, so
that would
too
work.
hard.
But they're like rage zombies. They like, I'm not even sure that they lose their intelligence. They just get all like, I'm mad and my blood turns black or whatever.
They don't seem to have any intelligence as zombies.
Yeah, I mean, they
don't
keep
have
shooting.
enough time.
Yeah, that's true. It's not like they had a lot of time to really explore that. But that's kind of good.
They didn't shoot their guns, so
they didn't need
that
to.
only takes a minimal level of skill.
Right.
So.
Well, I mean, and I think everyone was pretty much out of bullets at that point anyways. But yeah, point is, kind of anticlimactic, but I mean, it wasn't bad. It wasn't like it spoiled the rest of what this movie had going on.
If you're starving for a decent Indiana Jones adventure, it's worth a watch.
Yeah, probably better than Crystal Skull. Like, at least more fun.
Ooh, yeah, probably better than Crystal Skull.
That's not a high bar to jump over, but I think it does it.
Yeah,
it does it. And
it's not awful.
I preferred it to the
It's pretty decent.
I preferred it to the first try at this series.
Oh yeah, the first try
ones.
was terrible.
Yeah, they're just too over the top.
So the new Tomb Raider movie, pretty good. Give it a shot, maybe.
Yeah, it's worth a shot. Thanks for watching another episode of We Watched a Movie. I'm Brandon.
And I'm Colin.
Be sure you like, comment, and subscribe. We love subscribers and we love comments. Hit that little bell icon. That'll let you know when more videos are coming out. Thanks for coming and hanging out.
Peace.